Hello everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Wade the Wallaby and welcome to a documentary stream. We'll be talking about how to be a good admin on games. Now, oh my god, I have some crazy hair. If you don't know what I mean, if you possibly have no idea what games are, or at least to know what multiplayer is, multiplayer is a type of thing for like you and me, like real people. Instead of like, if you like, for example, if you probably heard of Mario, it's not like that, like multiplayer. They're like real people, like you and me, not like computers like competing you with AI. That's what multiplayer is. It's basically with real people and real. Um, it's really hard to explain to a person that, but I digress. How to be a good admin on a game or any game on a server. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then I suggest you actually just go on the internet and possibly just type in just type in what is a server on a game or something like that, and it'll probably give you the answer. If it don't, then ask me, and I'll probably try to give you a scientific answer. Now, here are my ways of being an admin. I've realized that there are a lot of things that what admins do. It could be because of anger, because of strictness, possibly because they probably had a life of strictness and they're unpredictable. Admins out there that run of a server, they're usually some, or I should say, not even an admin. It could be just the admin that's like brilliant, but his people are not. And they could just be banning you for possibly stupid reasons. Like if you're just in the game and you basically like mess something up. For example, Left 4 Dead 2 or Left 4 Dead, if you actually were spawned as a smoker and you didn't mean to spawn in or something like that, and you decided to climb a wall, well, apparently admins or people don't like that, so they just kick you because you're thinking that you're probably a troll and you want to die. That's how I got kicked, but I can't seem to get in, so it's probably a ban. But remember, there could be new players out there that admins don't seem to care. So here are the options to be the perfect admin. Not perfect because no one's perfect, but at least give less rules. The major number one is less rules. The only way to have a good popular server is you have to have less rules and less stress. People with real autism like me, would get a lot of stress if they get banned or kicked. Especially sometimes, very rarely, they will give a reason why, and usually you get banned, you always see a screen what you did. And obviously, autism is unpredictable, and you have when you take action, you can't just ban somebody because you don't know who they are. Look at their profile and it will give you inside information. You have to tell who you are sometimes because it will actually save your life. Well, most times people like Adams are just lazy or people that are up ranking. And I used to be up there on the Xeno Gaming. I was actually a dictator. I was actually the like almost an admin because I was been playing for it for like 3.5 years. Why is the camera blurry? Come on, get unblurred, focus. There we go. Gotta make sure it focuses. So yeah, rule number one, less rules. Here are the basic rules. Always look on the community guidelines of the game. That's the only thing that you need to follow. If someone is being racist, then don't ban them. If they're being toxic at people or bullying, you can probably kick them or ban them at a certain time. And if they keep doing it, but anything, just don't permanent ban them because if they're autistic, they could actually be very devastated if they've been on that server for a long time and do a lot of depression. And that happens to me a lot. So you have to make sure you have to know who they are and ask them why are they doing it. And if they don't give a proper answer, there's something terribly wrong with them. So either if they start breaking a game, then you probably need to just like soft ban them. Unless if it's a, well, figure out something that you have, like a jail cell. So I have this idea in Gary's mod that if somebody's being disrespectful for the server, I won't kick them or ban them, but I would actually put them into a new map in like a Novo Prospect scenario where you actually be in a jail cell instead of like a cage that's like hovering. Because you've seen those servers on Gary's mod of Sandbox. When somebody gets in trouble, or you sometimes, you get stuck. You get caged in, and then all of like the admin like stares at you, or like some high ranking person, and they just stare at you in no clip, and they just like, yeah, and they just like look at you and they just type in stuff or talk to you. It's really creepy. It's just really like I've seen that before. But yeah, but here are a lot of ways to be a good admin, and it's just you have to make sure. All right, rule number 2: knowing who you are kicking or banning, or who is doing it and why. You're the administrator. You are the person that owns the server, and these people are visiting your server. For example, they're just tourists. They just came in and they have no idea. Give some time. If they have been just in the server, don't give them any warnings. They could be new players or young players. They could be just young. And if they're too young, you can have your own rules, but have at least less rules. But you can't have all less rules, because you end up basically being an anarchy server, and you have to follow the community guidelines, what the game is. Now, if you disobey these rules, then how about you uninstall the game and don't play those games? For example, if you start being racist on any of the games on EA, you will actually get yourself permanent banned from EA. So if you don't follow those rules, just uninstall the game and don't play any EA games, because you're not accepting the community guidelines. So you basically are declining it, and you won't use their terms of service and guidelines. So what is the point? You have to just if you're gonna start being like that, just delete it, because that's gonna make yourself, because that's just disobeying the rules. So what is the point? Rule number 3: you have to stay in touch of new players. Don't stay too much close, or else you get them uncomfortable. I know there's going to be a lot of players, but you have to be nice as possible. But you can't be nice as possible. You can be angry if some person is pissing you off, and that's okay, because you can't the emotions of a human body, they're unpredictable. And it will come to get it, and you might accidentally, of anger, you probably have a bad day. And if you have a bad day, try not to ban people because you're in a bad mood. Even though you're probably banned from another server, just make sure to you actually, if someone's actually breaking a small rule, don't be just like caging them up like that. But if it's something like, make sure that they have a lot of entertainment. And if they start like doing things that you're against the law, like I should say, breaking the community guidelines, then you should not kick them, but report them. And then you could actually kick them. But if you want to, you can't put them I should not let you permanent ban somebody. You probably be like, I could just put like 1,000 years or something. No, that's actually permanent ban, because in real life, humans, unless if they're like, that'd be crazy, because that server will not last 1,000 years. That basically is a permanent ban. I suggest basically 5-hour ban. I've actually had a 3-week ban because I got angry at admin and I got very mad. But it wasn't a permanent ban, and that's what is the interesting thing. Now, if somebody's actually doing something like hacking or like trying to crash the game on purpose, you need to take action. If someone's trying to scam, like a scammer's on there, ban them. Ban them immediately. Permanent ban them immediately. But have to make sure that they're really bots, or I should say really like imposters or something like that. So you have to investigate yourself, or let your other friends investigate it, because you're the admin. You have to work a lot of things. You're the admin. You don't know the server. You always probably have like a co-admin, which is like the second hand, When you're gone, he takes over. When he's gone, somebody else takes over. When the server is like empty, probably people are on there because they have their free time. With less rules, you can have a less stress people, because when you're devastating people. Now, there probably are going to be those YouTubers out there that basically want to show off and try to get themselves banned. I don't know why would they do that. I don't even watch them. I used to watch them like several of them. I stopped watching them because what's the point? You're basically eventually you're going to ban your entire life if you're doing that, because it's just like, what's the point? I mean, maybe other people, but it's just like, so don't do that. If you see somebody do that, they will try everything. Just try not to ban them permanently. Try to talk to them. How about you tell them to leave the server and we won't well, of course they'll just keep bothering you. The only way I could do it is put them in a cage. And basically, yeah, but you can't, if they live in the United States, they have a lot of things like freedom of speech. So if they say I can't think about politics, you can't take action and start kicking them, because that will be very bad, because you're actually doing it against the law. But if in other countries, I don't know. But if you have a United States server, you go basically by the United States rules. And of course, you can't basically see somebody with things that are against the law, and instead you basically have to call the FBI or the police if they do anything that's terrorism. Yeah, you have to actually do something and basically gather around people and contact the head of the government or something like that, because but still, don't do that. Don't ever do that to anywhere, because that's going to make you kind of stupid, and eventually they're going to be like, FBI, open up, and then eventually you're going to get destroyed. You don't want that to happen ever in your life. Just play the game properly, and as long as you have less rules and follow the human guideline rules, which is actually a lot, but when you look at it, it's actually just, some of them are just racism, calling people like harassment. But of course you have bantering, which, if somebody's being bullied, what I like to do, well, I haven't yet, but what I like to do is not ban them. I basically would have actually, you can't gag somebody, because if you're in the United States, you have freedom of speech. But if they start spamming, you could actually start to slow their, I should say, talking on chat, but that's still like limited. But if they're just talking about garbage in real life, if you're talking about that, they probably would be like, who are you? So yeah, you should actually just not gag them permanently like other servers do. Like, no freedom of speech. You can't speak in the microphone, no typing in chat. That's breaking the law, because you need freedom of speech. Because if they're talking about things, but if they're talking about racism, anything like that, but then you just have to tell them, warn them, give them a warning. If they start saying the N word, then you need to actually report them to Valve or EA, and they will do the rest, and they will basically destroy them and possibly delete every single world that they have, and or something like that. Now, people don't know about people. When you're on the internet, there's a lot of things. Now, a lot of people don't like to put their information out, like who they are, but not their detailed information, like their privacy and stuff, which you need to basically keep away, because that's your privacy. But sometimes there's information that you probably need or don't need. It depends on who you are. But when it comes to my server, if I did have a server, I don't have it yet, but if I did, here's what I would do. Now, because of policy, you can't just ask somebody what their age is or who they are. And because because if they live in the United States, then I'd probably be comfortable, but I don't know who they are. It's weird about servers because it's international. And when it comes to other countries, you basically are confused. Now, of course, you could actually go to the international rule, which I don't know. But of course, if it's just the United States server, there are going to be less people. But it would actually be comfortable with everyone speaking English. Or you could use Canadian, but I have rarely seen a Canadian person play any of the games. I should. Maybe they are, but they just don't tell who they are. I never been to Canada, or I never been out of the country. I'll tell you that. I never been out of the country. All I've been is been in the United States for the rest of my life, and I have never. Of course, my family has been out there in the country, but not me, because I don't have a passport, and yeah. But what I mean is, all right. So let's see. Number 4. I probably skipped another one. Number 3, number 4. Let's see. Rules. Trying to talk it out. So if someone's being bullied, then you're the administrator. You have to pretend that you are the person that's in charge, like a company, and you have to make sure that your guests are as comfortable as possible. And of course, that you have to greet them. You can't don't be creepy. Don't go like freaking no clip and start like staring at them. You have to go normal, or if it's Garry's Mod, but any other game, don't like basically show that your god powers. Be comfortable. And if you want to see somebody and they want to see you, greet them. But if you don't want to see them, then that's fine. But you must greet who the admin is. Let them know who you are and try to show a little bit of friendliness and give them some whatever your type of game is or whatever you do, because a lot of admins or the server has different things to make the game, I should say, comfortable or better. And that's what's interesting about the I don't know what they're called, but for Battlefield 1 it's a bit different. You basically, it's not like Garry's Mod, but it's like you don't need to worry about it because technically you can't go to no clip. Not that I know of. But mostly like Left 4 Dead servers, or any of the Left 4 Dead series, like Left 4 Dead 2, it's just like you have to at least, if you're not on there, make sure to see who has been banned. And if people have been banned for no reason, unban them and see what they happen, because they could possibly been banned for no reason from your players, and you have to, maybe you should have like a command to tell who actually banned them, so that way you can talk to that person and say, hey, you banned somebody that they didn't do nothing, you did not give them a reason, why did you ban them? So you should immediately unban them. I know it's going to be hard, but it should be easier task to see about the I don't know. What time is it? 1:38. Now, here's my way of controlling age. Now, 17 years old is the age of Team Fortress 2. At least that I saw it. Now, of course, since it's a free-to-play, there's going to be a lot of players like that are 5 years old. That's actually, it could be not like that, but by experience, yes. I've been playing it since 2016, so I pretty much know what, the ups and downs are. And you don't know what their age are. And because if they're younger, you can't do things like who they are, because their parents would ask who they are. Now, of course, it's very, 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 very rare or impossible to have their parent on the microphone. Most parents don't even like to watch the game their kids play. And, my mother does that too. And when I get bullied, I get hurt in, and it like everyone gets like confused. Now, of course, it's one of those Christian servers that always pop up. It's like, what? I started to buy my Christian server. What? It's like, what is really, never heard of an atheist server. I guess because people are afraid of, it's just like, it's scary. There's nothing wrong, but I think other countries, there's like no freedom. I don't know. I have to say I don't know because I probably making something up that doesn't make any sense, and that's why. Because I'm just trying to make sure that if you are going to become an admin, you have to follow these steps to make sure that your people are comfortable. You have to make sure that everybody's comfortable and are not afraid of being banned. And you just cannot basically you cannot be a dick. But if the person being a dick, they try to push your lovers, like they want to get banned, just ignore them, all right? If they start like messing with the server, like the game, then do something. But if they're just trying to push your buttons, ignore him, ignore he or she, because they will eventually will leave, and you can't just mute them, but you can always just, well, you could mute them, but not gag him, but you could actually mute him, but he can still, other people can hear him. I don't mean like gag him for the entire server, that would be devastating, because that would be obeying the rules, because in the game you can just click a button and you can mute them. But yeah, you have to unmute them maybe about in just in case. But if they leave, but yeah, they just, people are, they could be just acting and want to be funny. But if someone's bantering another person, if the other person doesn't like it, you, the admin, should have to do something, even though that person probably has problems. Now, if they're autistic, like for real, they would have actually had a lot of stress. Now, you, as the admin, have to take control. You have to at least give them space. You have to like show what they want, and you know, and you have to be calm. And if they start getting stressed out even more, just make sure to go on the web and to see, because it's just really hard how to control. But even though I hear people say they're autistic, I don't believe them, because I just, I can't. How? That's impossible. There's way more people that are born when I was born that were way more worse than me. That's impossible. It's really hard to believe somebody, and it's really hard, and you have to make sure you have to take action. I don't have any. Okay, let's stop with the rule, like number 1 and number 2, because I'm going all over the place. So I'm just gonna ignore that. But yeah, like you have to follow the rules, but you have to have at least the rules that are actually in the game rules, not your rules. And try to make sure you have it make it fun, like events, like events like more points or something like that. That makes hyped up. And make sure you have to make it entertainment. You have to keep, you're the admin. If you're trying to get as more players as possible, you have to make sure they have fun. Now, of course, the gravity gun. Now, in Garry's Mod, the gravity gun is useful, but it's in the game, so you can't because it will break the physics engine if you try to suspect. So, if anybody's doing prop pushing with a gravity gun, that's probably normal, because that's, unless if it was maybe an NPC, but you can't because that's actually in the game. The gravity gun only holds medium objects, so. But yeah, you can't. That's what Garry's Mod is. It's the physics engine. But with the physics gun, yeah, that's a problem, because it can pick up any object that is physics, and it can actually pick up static props, even things that are crafted by the person that made the map. Now that's a confusing thing, because there's actually maps like GM Fork. There's some places, there's like a large chunk of pieces that are actually static, and you can use it, you can hold down C and click it, and you can actually delete it. I've done that before, and no admin noticed it. It's just no one noticed it. I did it on purpose, because no one noticed it. No one I know, right? Well, yeah, but yeah, it was funny. The littlest things, autism always finds a way and nobody else notices it because they're just paying attention to the major game. And because Garry's Mod it's everything. Just like everything. But it does not have everything. It doesn't have anything that can drill. What? So yeah, let's recap. Number 1, you have to have less rules, but have to follow the rules that are in the game rules. Number 2, be nice and try to be at least try to talk to a friend. Make sure that your friends or buddies that are like high ranking, make sure to tell them and brief them into a meeting and try to explain to them about your new idea. And so they can remove some of the, limitations. A person that is saying weird stuff, they could be autistic. Now, just for me, when I go into your server, I don't want you to just go ahead and ban me because I made this. But I'll give you advice. I don't know what your rules are, but you should always play nice with autistic people. You cannot play. There are different people like me. You cannot. And if they say they're autistic, just give them like, when were you diagnosed with autism? Because if they start lying, then just this, But there could be people that might claim that is, but there is no doubt, just. But if you don't believe me, then fine. Then you don't believe me, fine. But I have people that can back me up, and I'm sure of you. That's why I do this. So maybe some person that would know how it feels like to have it. I even tried talking about how autism affects me, and YouTube just like destroys me, and it just is unacceptable. You know what my mom said about YouTube? It's a fascist. I didn't say it. She said it. I kind of believe her because, oh man, I'm sorry I'm going back to where I was, but I just have to tell you because it was just ridiculous. What they've done to me, they basically just shoved me off. Like, they don't care about me, and it's just ridiculous. I'm a civilian. I'm not. I don't even have a job. I should not say that, but really, I don't have a job. I'm a loser. I don't. Oh man, and I know that's probably like a common thing for an autistic person, but you know what? I'm high functioning, and I bet other people say they're high functioning, but you know what? I'm the only one that knows about high functioning, and I probably have been diagnosed of it, and I'm sure of it. Back in 2004, I have been diagnosed it, and I'm positive. If you don't believe it, then fine. I can show you the papers. Well, they're actually at my mom's house, or I should say my mom's house, but it seems like we're divorced, but actually, mom's not divorced. I know it's going to be weird, but I don't know. I like to talk about my backstory because it's, But yeah, I should have recapped it, but you know what? The ADHD always, it's just crazy. I know I'm going all over the place. I know you probably have no idea what I'm saying. It's just, I think, to focus, I always think about putting like drawings, but that just takes too much time. Like writing a graph and telling what is it called? I don't know. I'm going all over the place. ADHD. I'm taking less medicine because I'm worried about me having a seizure. What happened to my mom, and I don't want to take any medicine at all because I'm just so scared that I'm gonna have a seizure. What happened to my mom, and I'm just definitely scared. I know that doesn't mean about adamants, but I just have to put that in there because live streams are unpredictable, and that's why you can't. When you're live streaming, you can't edit it and live stream at the same time. So that's why, and it's easier. It's much more easier than this recording because it's just, yeah. And it's just, I don't have any SD cards that are empty. And I try asking my mom about getting a new SD card, and she just says nothing. It's just they don't hear me. People don't hear me about what I say, and it's ridiculous. sometimes I feel like I'm a ghost. It's just no one doesn't even hear me, and it just makes me depressed because no one actually can hear me. That's how it feels like. That's how it feels like. You know, for you admins out there, if you've seen a person named Skypix, you probably would know that's me. Because if you probably know who I am actually, and you probably would do much more better than anybody else. Because I'm a good person. That I do a little bit of mischief, but nobody does not notice. Even though it doesn't break the game. If somebody would notice, then little things like that. What are you gonna start banning me because I'm like gonna be mischief? If I've done nothing wrong in your server, then why would you ban me? I've been banned for a lot of servers, and I kind of get out of whack. Sometimes I do kind of go crazy sometimes, and it's just ridiculous. And you have, I know I'm trying to be at least nice as possible. What is wrong with this thing? What the hell? Hold on, I'm sorry. What the hell? The chat was like glitched out. What the hell? It's like my nickname goes up there and it goes away. That's weird. That's very weird. It's bizarre. What is wrong with the chat? It's like stupid. Anyways, I don't know when I'm gonna go to that camp thing with that autistic. I'll trust you. With that place, I have so much fun. It's like I've been wanting to talk about it, but I'm not sure if I have the rights to talk about it. But if I talk to her about it, then I probably will talk about on here in public. And maybe if you have an autistic person, she's the best to do it. But if you're probably living instead of like in Illinois, then yeah, you probably be like, what is the point? I've been around her since like when I was I don't even talk when I was young. Yeah, my backstory is really good. Like, I used to growl when I was little. It was like, kind of weird. First, my mom thought it was cute. Then it got like annoying. And that's how I was able to actually get like low like voice type thing because I was like training my vocal cords, but it wasn't on purpose. It was something wrong with my brain. Autism, it actually removes. What happens is it starts off with voids in the brain, but eventually you actually grow them because how the brain grows and it makes more. I'm not an anatomy person, but if you probably have a doctorate degree about that, you probably have exactly what I'm talking about because you probably are an expert. But you're probably gonna be like, "Oh, I have a PhD of this and that." Well, prove it then, because you know what? Tell me what, because I want proof. Sometimes I don't like when people talk about jokes because sometimes for my brain, it feels like it's telling the truth. We're done with the admin thing, but it's just, I know admins, they're just unpredictable. Sometimes they're assholes, just mean, like they don't care, if you're like, sometimes people are new on games and you can't do that. Give them some time. They'll learn. That's what games are for. They'll learn. Human brain learns. You can't just give it up. And you will destroy their life, and they will just uninstall the game because they think that this is their actual first game, like their first ever game they play. Like they've been like huddled up into like a hut or something like that, and they've been wanting to play these amazing things called games. They call them. And he's like, Daddy, please, I want to play a game, whatever they call it. No, they're for big boys. You're not a big boy yet. And they finally let him. And then, of course, they realize he's getting banned and he thinks that games are awful. So you can't do that. You can't just start banning them already. You have to at least give them a reason and should able to give them an appeal or something. Because or at least you can unban them. You can't just go around and start banning people. Now that's an asshole. Then you should be banned because you're basically just why? Make sure to have less rules as possible. You can't just do that. You have to make sure you stay with the person. You can't just start like creeping up on them. That's gonna be creepy, like it'd be scary. You can't scare them like that. It could be unpredictable. They could have autism. They could have like different types of disabilities. You have to make sure you have to take action. If they're just a regular person, then you still have to take action because they probably are. People are not perfect. No one's perfect. Remember that. No one's perfect. You're not perfect in any way. You cannot be perfect. No one can be perfect. It's impossible. To be perfect, it's impossible. That means if you're perfect, then no one's perfect because that's just impossible because someone could be better than you and they have it's just a loop. So you have to do what it takes. Start off friendly. And if they start acting like an asshole, they could be having a bad day. Try to talk into what happened. And if they start talking about they've been banned, then tell them that this server is safe for you. You will have much more better off than other servers. Tell them that, and that will probably be the best. That will actually light them up, like happiness. Tell them that, and tell them welcome to the server, but not just like a random chat that randomly pops up. You as the admin, you have to say that. And that will make somebody's day. If it's their birthday, celebrate their birthday. Even if it's probably not their real birthday, but you can probably just try to say what your birthday is. And if it's like something that's like January 1st, then that's unpredictable. Give me a moment. Sorry. It's a bit more worse. But yeah, I gotta go and do some things because I will be going to that place. I've been really wanting to get besides my mom, I really want to have more people besides my mom to be on this stream or I should say, like not celebrities. That's impossible. I've been wanting to work at SpaceX, but because of my disability and my education, I wouldn't even have a chance. Because the people would think, "Who are you? Some type of stupid person that's autistic? They're noobs and ugly." That's what they think about me. Because it's just I'm not a noob. I have so much education. Now you probably saying to yourself, he probably saying that because he probably isn't not. Yeah. Go ahead, look at my evidence. It's all around you. Well, not around you. It's really dark in the background because I'm actually in the basement. Got tired of that light. Of course, there's a skylight right there. Right there. Not skylight. What is that? What the hell? We don't have any skylights. My mom doesn't like skylights because people might climb up to the roof and start breaking in. Yeah, she has a phobia, it seems like. If you have a skylight, then get a handyman and remove it. Because unless you don't mind it. Oh no, Nanny's mad. Okay, I seriously have to go because Nanny's wanting me to do something that I need to do it. But I'm. What was that? Okay, I'll see you guys later.